I'm sad today. What's that? Why am I sad? It's because no one's noticed my haircut. No one's noticed. No one said anything. If they did notice it, you know, they didn't give me a compliment. I feel like it's a pretty good haircut. Remember, I used to have like an afro looking thing poking up. It was hideous. It was wild. Now I have short hair, but you know, no one noticed. Which, I mean, whatever. You know, who cares? I don't care. Nope. I don't care. Okay, maybe a little. Hello, my wonderful people. Welcome back to another episode on the Blue Forever World. This is episode 44, and I was not being serious about the hair stuff. I just want to say that real quick. I just thought that would be funny, and it is true that I did get a haircut. It is true. And I mostly did it because making thumbnails a lot easier for reasons that are too boring to explain. Today I have big plans. Oh baby. We're gonna be destroying a farm, we're gonna be looking at an interior, and we're gonna be making a new building to add to the very wild skyline of Cyan Industries, which I am seriously digging. Like it's getting to the point that it's feeling a lot busier than it did. And we're gonna be adding another building in today. But let's get to the interior part, because I've done some off-camera building, if you can't tell. I mean, look at the BAM tower, the bamboo farm right here. I added these nice little side lights, which I really like. I got rid of some torches because we're not gonna have any torches here. Torches are ugly. And I put some new flags up, and I've made an official entrance. Look at this. We have the cool green glazed terracotta because it's bamboo, baby, and bamboo's green. But here we are, the interior. And in here, let me tell you what this place is for. It is for the workers inside Cyan Industries that work on the factories and do everything, all the maintenance and stuff. This is where they go to rest and eat. So right here, I might put a receptionist here eventually. I just haven't gotten around to it. But we have, you know, the motivating signs, okay? This is very motivating. Money is not everything for you. It is for us. So don't ask for a raise. Very motivating stuff. Okay, very motivating. Over here, we have another map of the entire area, and we have a few markings. Unestablished land over here. Unknown toxic area, because the people of Cyan Industries don't know what's over there. And I should probably say, for the new viewers, you might be a little overwhelmed, but this is my forever world. We have different areas on here. So right here is Cyan Industries, and right here is the cartoon land. But I like to pretend that there's lore here, and the Cyan Industries executives have no idea what this place is supposed to be. So it's just unknown toxic area. Over here, Acacia Plains. I might spelled Acacia wrong, I don't know. And then the village people up there are off the map. And that's pretty much, oh wait, okay, hold on. We have the high heat protection suit, and we have the hazmat suit required in all of our clean, quotation marks, factories, because they are all very clean. Wink. And then we have this elevator. Oh no, I forgot to put blocks back there. Oh man, there's supposed to be blocks back there, but I forgot to do that. But we have this elevator that I saw on Hermitcraft once, and I wanted to try to make it on Bedrock, and it's a bit more of a pain because you go right here. For some reason, note blocks in Minecraft Bedrock, they do not update. They don't update observers for some reason. So I had to be a little creative. So we're gonna path this this dirt block, and that will let us up. Same for this one, and boom. And then we have the top floor. But whoa, hello. Let me show you the actual interiors. Right here we have the cafeteria. That is right. These are going to be blue eventually. I'm just letting them oxidize first. But I really don't have tons of space in here. The tower looks humongous, but believe it or not, the actual BAM tower, the bamboo, most of the bamboo farm ticks it up. All of that, and it goes all the way up, so we really don't have a ton of room, actually. It looks like we have more room than we actually do. So I had to be a little bit creative. This is where they probably have their tray, and they take that and they, you know, get their food from the lunch lady. There's obviously no cafeteria lady here at the moment because it's not lunchtime, I guess. But I put this black concrete back here to kind of give the illusion that there's more stuff back there. And right here is where they're gonna sleep at. Okay, now you may be wondering, Blue, why did you just not use actual beds? Well, that's because there's an iron farm about 10 blocks away from us. And if we use actual beds, it'll kill the iron farm. I'm lucky that the job tables have not completely killed the iron farm. So we have these very, very tiny bunk beds. I'm not super happy about this room, but I really didn't have a ton of space, and I can't use beds, so I'm kinda... I kinda don't have a lot of options. And then, of course, we head up here, and I didn't have a lot of space at all. I thought about making this like the CEO room, but it just didn't work. There's not a lot of room. There's really not. And then we can't do much on the outside because the outside is showing over here, and that's a bit different on the other ones because I had space to do an outer interior layer, but that didn't work. So this is just a storage room where we may store bamboo stuff in eventually, but not yet. And that leads over here to the smoke, fumes, and this is how we get out from this level. The other levels is just a drop into water over here. Right there. It's very, very sneaky. See? And boom. But that's the interior. I'm pretty happy with it. I didn't realize how much less space we would have. And I think we can officially call this ginormous tower a done. Well, there is a first for everything. Today, we are going to be getting rid of a farm. That is right. I've said before, I don't like destroying buildings or farms just because there's memories behind them of when I made that, you know? And it's cool to have that stuff around. But this chicken farm is problematic, and I'm standing right here so we can maybe watch something happen that is problematic. But let's talk about it. I made it knowing that it wouldn't be very efficient, and I was okay with that. I was okay with it not being very efficient. Not ready for it to be problematic. It is very, very, very problematic for a couple of reasons. First of all, it just doesn't work sometimes. For some reason, all of these chickens, they're supposed to be babies, and when they grow up, when they're babies, they go under this lava right here because they can fit through there, and they grow up and turn into big boy chickens. But for some reason, maybe it's when I unload the chunks or whatever, they like to walk over here and then grow up, and then that just ruins the whole thing. And then, to make it worse, the baby chickens, once one of them is grown up, the other baby ones like to go to this door. And when they go to this door, and they grow up, for some reason, how Minecraft works, when they grow up, instead of growing up on the other side, they pop right out here. Which is not great, because it ruins the farm even more. I believe there's some chickens down here somewhere. I don't know where. There's a couple. Oh, there's like 4 down there. There's a few out here, which is super, super annoying. And that was kind of the selling point. I was like, okay, I'm done with this farm. It might be causing lag. And then I found a new bug. Look at this. Why is there so many chickens? Why? Why? Look at this. This is ridiculous. This doesn't make sense. Why is there so many chickens? I don't spam eggs over here. There's so many. It doesn't make sense. And they didn't travel over here all the way from the farm, and it's only this area. It's only right here that they're spawning like crazy, and it's no other mob. This is not normal mob spawning. They do not spawn in bunches like this. And these ones, oh my... They haven't despawned either, which is super weird. They just spawn, and then they just spread out from here. It's super weird. And it started after this farm has been running for a while. So I think it's time to get rid of this farm. And I think there's only one proper way to do that. It is time to say so long to the chicken farm. If I hit this. Here we go. Oh no. Oh, that was actually surprisingly really clean. Like, really clean. Like, I really cannot believe how clean that was. Okay, how many's in here? Die! Murder! Like, that went really, really well. How much chicken? I didn't really get that much chicken, but I mean, that's no biggie. That went beautifully. They all just died. There wasn't a huge, you know, explosion on the ground, so I don't have to fill in a bunch of space. I should use TNT more often. But yeah, I'm gonna clean up the space, and we are gonna make a new farm in its place. You know, I feel like I have to warn you guys before I show you things that are super, super ugly, because what I have built is very, very, very ugly. It doesn't look good at all. I mean, the bit of wood in the middle looks very, very, very out of place, but it's for a reason, okay? Right here in this little bit of factory space is 7 different farms. 7. Now, none of them are automatic, unfortunately. Actually, that sheep just activated one of them. Dang it, you stupid sheep! Did it? Oh, it did. It fully activated it. Dang it. Okay, let me explain all these farms. Number 1, we have cherry blossom / sunflower thing blossoms. I'm not sure what they're called, but the things that stay on the ground like this, we have a pretty simple farm here. Step on this pressure plate, you put bone meal in this dispenser, and then it gets triggered. Super simple. And we have firefly bushes. This one is pretty sweet. I'm pretty proud of this. It's 3 different systems. So I already have some bone meal in there. Let me tell you what's going to happen here. I'm going to step on the pressure plate. It's going to activate this minecart, which got moved by a stupid pig. And then that minecart's going to start going, and then it's going to start a clock for these pistons. And then it's also going to turn on the bone meal. All this is going to happen at the exact same time, and it'll start making the beautiful, beautiful firefly bushes. Here we go, and it'll harvest. You can't see it very well. Boom, it harvested. You can't see it because we have this giant one in the way. This one has to stay, though, for a reason. But if we look, and there should be a whole bunch coming in. This right here, vines. This is our next farm. I've learned that you cannot bone meal vines. Yeah, who would have thought that? It's kind of strange. And you can't, you know, automatically harvest them because you need shears. So vines are pretty much unautomatically farmable. Even with, like, bone meal. They're not even semi-automatic. I have to come in with shears, which is a little annoying. But eventually we're going to get a beacon over here, and I'll put some efficiency on these shears, and it won't be nearly as bad. Then we go up here. We have this, what's it called? Just a bush farm. And it's pretty simple. We have, it's pretty much the same as the one down there for the petals, but this one is not automatic. It doesn't automatically harvest it because you need shears to harvest it. But we can automatically bone meal it. So we step right here, boom, 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 boom. We just break it every time it bone meals. See, we got 3 more right there because I think I just put in 3 bone meal. Right here, we have the pale hanging moss. And I believe this one, I'm not entirely sure, but I think it could work for that nether hanging stuff. I don't go in the nether that often. The stuff that's hanging in the nether in those one biomes, I don't know. I don't like the nether. I stay out of there, but it's pretty simple. bop, 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 just like the other one. And I did not put that much bone meal in there because I'm trying to save on bone meal. I'll probably only use these whenever I need them. And then over here, we have the cocoa beans. Another one that's not really automatically harvestable unless you replant them. So yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer. And yes, it does look weird with the lever right there, okay, I understand, but we are already poking out enough over here into the road that, I mean, we're 1 block away from the road, and that's not great. It'll be a little awkward building the building around this. But then over here, we have the glow lichen farm. This is pretty simple. Up here, which I already loaded these dispensers, but if I were to get some more bone meal and put it in that minecart hopper, send it across, bop, bop, turn the lever off, it's done. And then, to start the bone mealing, ba-boom. Look at that. Some of them grow a little funny, which is a little annoying. I can't control that, but for some reason you can bone meal these, but not bone meal the other ones. It's super weird. And by the way, if I had more bone meal in those, it would have kept on growing, but I only put 1 bone meal in each. So yeah, that's pretty simple. It's a bunch of things that aren't really that important, but if I wanted to use them, I now have an easy way to get them because, you know, in the past, if I wanted some of these things, I'd have to go out and find them out in the wild and then get my own this just makes it so much easier because instead of having to go find it or go somewhere weird, it's just right here. It's super simple, and a lot of it is made a lot easier. And the vines, I think I might just come over here every now and then and just harvest them. You know, just casually. If I'm bored and just kind of messing around, I'll just come over here and harvest them. It just makes it so much easier and more convenient. And it's a lot better than that very, 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 very garbage chicken farm. Also, we get fireflies around here now, which is kind of weird in this factory, but whatever. But yeah, way better than the chicken farm. And now it's time to move on to other things, which the next thing I should do should probably be cleaning up the mess around here. There's a chest, there's tons of shulker boxes, that's my redstone. Probably not going to do that today because that's not fun. I hate cleaning up messes. But I think instead we should do some building, baby. That's right, we are going to be building some actual buildings around the kelp farm and probably right here. Maybe. Okay, I've kind of marked out something. The area that we're going to use. This is going to be an interesting looking factory area because it's such a weird amount of space, okay? It's a bit weirder than the other ones, in which instead of just, you know, being a large, boxy kind of building, it's more of like a sideways L. You got the bottom, and then all this long bit over here that's a part of it. What we're going to do is make it into several different buildings. Now, we may not do all the buildings in today's video, but we will at least do the kelp farm building, which is probably going to be the hardest because of how tall this sucker is. I mean, this thing will stick out quite a bit because I believe it is a similar heights to the sugarcane farm. No, I think it's taller. I think it's taller. It's even taller than the flower farm over here. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge, that is for sure. But I think we can handle it. And I kind of have a color palette that I'm wanting to do. And yeah, my plan here. I have the scaffolding to kind of show where I want things to end up at. So the kelp farm building will go from that scaffolding to this one. So right here, we'll start this little bit of furnaces and stuff. And there'll probably be a door so I can come in here, check on it, maybe grab some of this kelp over here, or, you know, get some XP. And there's a good chance a lot of these slabs are going to be going, because they're not that important, really. I'd rather have a building than slabs. So yeah, then this whole entire farm will go all the way over to here, and then, in the far, well, maybe not that far, we'll see, in the future, we're going to have a pumpkin and melon farm, and that will complete that whole strip right there. That whole strip has been very empty for a very long time. Then we made the kelp farm, then we made everything else. I am so excited to finally see this progress being made on Cyan Industries. It's about time. Oh man, because once this whole entire side is all done, it's gonna really feel like we're getting to the closing point of this area. Kind of sad. I really enjoy building here, but I do kind of miss building in other places and in different styles. I feel like a lot of you here on the channel don't know that we have a village that we're working on with some really cool builds over there, but it's just because we're grinding this place out right now, and it's been a lot of fun. But anyways, let's get started on building. I have made a whole bunch of progress on the build. It's about halfway done, I'd say, and it looks like I missed one side of it, but this side right here, we are not gonna do today because that side's probably gonna get, you know, taken over by a building right here. Now, before I show you the build, let me explain something. I've used this light blue wool to kind of show where the other buildings are gonna go, what size they're gonna be. So this one right here, it's gonna be somewhat small, and then that one's gonna be about 2/3 the height of the kelp farm. And that is why I didn't do that side right there, because that'd just be a waste of materials and time. But here is the base of this building right here. Now, I've done it before on this build right here, the flower farm build, and I like to just start off with a simple, I don't know, just a background bit before I go into all the cool details and really finish it. We have, it's pretty much a giant mud brick kind of building. And then we have this really nice accent bit over here. Although I'm not really sure if it's much of an accent because acacia. I'm not entirely sure what accent means when it comes to colors, but this bit is different and it kind of sticks out. We might do something cool with that. But I mean, it's a pretty simple build. Now we just gotta kind of decorate it, put a whole bunch of windows probably here and there. Probably some more things. I'm not entirely too sure yet. I gotta kind of get in the groove first. But I mean, it's gonna look really, really cool. Whenever we do make the second building over here right next to it, we will probably have to finish up the top right there. And obviously at the very end, I'm gonna put on a roof. But yeah, for now, I'm not gonna worry about this side right here because there's really no point. Although it does look kind of weird because he just got this building over here and then you can see inside of it, which is kind of strange, but you know, whatever. But yeah, oh, hello, spider jockey, excuse me. Ah, go away. Jeez. The one little bit of blocks that it has to spawn on is where it's, excuse me? Jeez. All right, there we go. Yeah, let's get to finishing this build and putting on all the beautiful details that'll make it look real good. I have done it. Once again, I'm saying this, I am so happy that I feel like I'm getting better and better at building with each and every build. Look at that. Now, from this angle, it doesn't look fantastic if you look right there. But if you look down this middle bit, it doesn't look too bad. I've tried something new. We have some iron bars going between the buildings. Now, I think that it's kind of like electricity, I think, is what it's supposed to represent. But here is the build from the front facing. Now, we have something a little unique here, okay? You can't really get a good view of everything going on, but you can tell that it is very, very busy. There's a lot going on. It's a very, very interesting build, and I really like it. It's such a... It almost feels like a mess, but it doesn't at the same time. It feels like a real busy looking building, and I really, really like it. I almost feel like it's heading towards the area of like an apartment, but it's not. It's a factory, and you can tell it's a factory because we got this interesting looking pipe coming out the top that I really, really like, and we will be putting smoke coming out of it. I think that'll be really, really cool. But it's a very interesting building, and I really like it, and I really like how it collabs with the flower farm building right here. I really, really enjoy that. It meshes really, really well. And for the interior, yeah, there probably won't be much of an interior. I have a way to get down to the collection area at the bottom, but there probably won't be an interior for this building, more than likely. But let me show you all of the angles. If we head out here, I really, really like this. Cyan, right there. You know we gotta put the Cyan Industries name everywhere we can. Cyan, right there. I really like that. And I did put in a ton of effort on how detailed the sides look. because obviously you're not really going to be looking at the sides that much from these angles. It doesn't really, especially the back side. I did put these pipe looking things though, because I thought that'd be a cool idea. And I think their reason for being is they're bringing power from the ground, maybe, or maybe they're bringing some item from the ground and putting it in the building for the factory workers to work on. It's raining now, so that kind of sucks, but it's really interesting, and I think the back of it is detailed enough that it doesn't look like I just, you know, ignored it and left it alone, although I didn't put a ton of effort into it. I'm out of rockets, by the way. I need to get back over. But now I think we need to put the cherry on top, and it's time to make some smoke, baby. Right up here. It's probably, ow. It's probably not gonna be a ton of smoke. Jeez, okay. Probably not gonna be a ton of smoke coming out of it, but there will be some. Oh yeah, by the way, this is what the roof looks like. I just wanted to put stuff up here. I wasn't really sure what to put up here, but I wanted something going on, and chances are you're not gonna see this roof very much. And I might do similar stuff on these other roofs because they're kind of just bland and boring. But yeah, let's get some smoke coming out of this sucker, and then we pretty much call this build done, and eventually we can start working on those maybe in another episode, because that's gonna really complete this build. Oh man, I'm so excited. Not entirely excited to make smoke because it's such a painful process, but it will be worth it. Now, before I show you the smoke that I have made, let's do the Tower of the Awesome People. Episode 43. Thank you for the comments. Mandy Mayface, I hope I said your name right. And CLC Gaming, once again, thank you guys for the comments. It's so kind. I really do appreciate it. And if you want your name permanently on my world, make sure you leave a comment. You can say anything, you know? I prefer nice things, but I can take criticism. Okay, I can take criticism. Let's move on to the final version. Well, I guess it's not the final version because we gotta make the sides, but let's move on to the smoke, which you can actually see from right here. It's not as crazy as the smoke over here or right there. It's a bit more tame. And I feel like it's because this building's probably, I mean, it is a lot smaller than that building right there, the BAM Tower. This one's a lot smaller, so, and the pipe is a lot smaller, so it's obviously not going to have nearly as much. And now you can't tell from this angle, but I have this idea that the wind in Cyan Industries is currently going that direction at all times, obviously, because I'm not going to randomly change the direction. But this smoke, it kind of comes out forward and starts blowing this way. And I really like that little detail to kind of keep it accurate to what's going on. Because in my head, it wouldn't make sense if the smoke... if the smoke over here was blowing that way, but for some reason the smoke over there was blowing that way or that way. I can maybe get away with it blowing straight that way, but it just wouldn't make sense for it to be blowing. It makes more sense for it to be going that way along with everything else, because the wind is usually going the same direction in one area. But that is going to do it for today, guys. I am having a lot of fun building here. Oh man, we're getting there, guys. It's starting to feel more and more full here in Cyan Industries. There's more and more buildings, more and more going on, more and more farms. That's gonna do it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. You guys are amazing. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!